Hey there guys, it's Max Clausen, and as you see in front of you, I do have an update to my Chimera deck profile. It's been a while since I actually made a profile on this deck because a lot of decks have come out and over the time, and I think the last profile update I made for this was like last year, I'd say, but which is crazy, but I still like this deck. It still plays very combo heavy depending on how you make it, and I am definitely going to be making this with the new Hecka hands. God, I hate Konami internationally. The Hecaton shears when they come out, because all those are illusion monsters, so that does boost this deck's power level even more, so expect that in the future. But I took this to locals yesterday, Sunday, at the time of me recording this video, and it did okay. I did lose the first round. I won my second one, but had to leave early, so I gave the win to my friend. But overall, I think this build of the deck is pretty good. And yes, it does. You do see the Necroquip, so the Fiendsmith is in here. So, with all that being said, let's get into this profile. For starters, we'll go off with the 3 copies of my Starlight Nightmare Apprentice. Yes, I did manage to get all 3 over the course of like a week and a half, I believe. So, thank goodness I got this. I didn't, at least I didn't get it back then when it first came out. I believe Starlight when in its first initial drop, because I probably would have been upset, but it is what it is. But now I have Nightmare Apprentice. You don't know what her effect is. You discard a card to summon her, and on summon, she adds an illusion monster from your deck to your hand. And like most illusions, as I found out, she cannot die in battle, and neither can anything that she battles. Next, we do still run the 1 Big Wing Baphomet. When you summon this card, if you add a Beast and or Chimera Fusion to your hand, and cards that do have the and or means you search 2 cards that are listed in that card's text, but you don't have to. It's very optional, but why would you never do a +1? But when you use his effect to search, you are locked into fusion summoning, and when this card is used as fusion material, it summons back an illusion monster from your graveyard. Next, we still rock the 2 Mirror Sword Knight. This is our monster negate while Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast is on our field. It has a quick effect that it can tribute itself to summon a monster from your deck that mentions Chimera Fusion, which, is still only Baphomet and Gazelle. So, yeah, it's very tailor-made of what this is going to go into. Speaking of, we do still rock the 3 Gazelle, one of your most important cards. On summon, it searches a level 5 Fiend or Chimera Fusion straight from your deck. And when it's used as fusion material, you add an illusion monster to your hand. So you usually use this. If you fuse with it, you search her, and you use her to get into another body. Next, we have our 3 searchers, being the 3 Cornfield Kodo. While you have Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast on your field, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard, and the Mirror Sword Knight can banish itself from the field too. When your opponent targets a card or cards you control, you can banish this, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy it. And you discard this to search out any monster that mentions Chimera Fusion, so any of these 3 monsters here. Right now we have the Fiendsmith package. We have the Fiendsmith Engraver, the 1 Lacrima, and the 1 Lori. Lori is in here. You don't have to play it because you do have Fiendsmith Track, which, by the way, got a rarity upgrade, so it's now an Ultra. But it's in here because you can use Lori, discard it with her, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, just chain block. They have to have an Imperm or Veiler or something. But that's all being said. Shouldn't really have to explain the Fiendsmith engine. Everybody and their mother knows about it. I play the Evil Hero package, being a Dusted Gold and Sinister Necrom, just further extending of the Fiendsmith package, which really makes it good that this deck doesn't really care that it got Moon hit. To be quite honest, I don't believe I've ever played Moon in this deck because we have all these that can go into Fiendsmith stuff. And I do play the 2 Edgemp Chain. Edgemp Chain, when it's sent from hand or field to the graveyard, you can add a fight for a card, and when it battles, you can add another copy of itself. So the thing about this is, because as a fusion deck, you need materials in your hand, and if you run out, well, then you're kind of screwed. So this is in here just because it's a dark, it's a fiend, it has in-archetype searching. So yeah. Next we have, for the last, is the 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Just generic hand trap, nothing more to be said there. That's it for the main monsters. Let's go into the spell and trap lineup. For 3, you do still gotta play the 3 Chimera Fusion. This is your very important fusion spell that you always want to have in rotation. It sucks that it can only be activated in the main phase. Konami needs to stop making super specific phases for archetypes that start out very weak. Like, come on, like, Jesus Christ, it's annoying. But you can activate this, fusion summon, use a fusion summon a monster. But while you have Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast on your field or graveyard, you have 2 different effects that it can use. The first effect is that you just add this card back to your hand once per turn. And the other effect is that you banish this card to summon Baphomet and the original Baphomet and Gazelle from your deck or hand to the field, which is crazy. Next, we have the 3 Fight for Patchwork, just here to help get us into our 2 Polymerization. Sometimes I do open up an Edgemp Chain, which I don't want to, which is why you only run 2 of it. You want to see this more, because then that'll get you into this and the chain. But you know, it is what it is at that point. Like, just at that point, they just become free discard fodder for Nightmare Apprentice. Next, I play the Dark Fusion, just because if I do open up a Dusted Gold, I can just discard it, get this card, and then use this to summon my Baphomet, and Baphomet will be untargetable by the opponent's card effects, or it can be destroyed. The 1 Fiendsmith track for the Fiendsmith stuff, the 1 Called By to stop hand traps, and the 1 Triple Tactics Talents, just in case the opponent does activate a monster effect on our turn. Oh, sorry about that. God, I hate this street other one. Next, we have the 3 Infinite Impermanence and the 1 Fiendsmith in Paradise. That's it for the main deck, a clear 40 cards. Now let's go on to the extra deck. We do have the Necro Crypt Princess for the Fiendsmith package, obviously. This can be changed with I have been going back and forth of, like, do I want to play Fiendsmith Lacrima or Duke of Demise, and it's very interchanging, because all this and those 2 do help this deck in some way, shape, or form. But it's like, the extra deck is always so tight, but you know, just choose what you want to use. Nothing's really a wrong answer. Duke of Demise would be if your opponent imperms your Gazelle or ashes your Mirror Sword Knight, what have you. So there are implications of all that. And Lacrima is just Lacrima, getting another body back for an XC or a Link play. Next, we have the Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts. When this card is fusion summoned, you can, at the end phase, rip a card from your opponent's hand, but you do have to declare you're using that effect, because it's not mandatory. And during the opponent's turn, while this card is in the graveyard, it can banish itself to target a beast, fiend, or illusion monster in your graveyard and special summon it to your field. Next to that, we do have 2 Baphomet, the mythical king of phantom beasts. On summon, he dumps one of the tri-types to your graveyard, so it sets you up for Chimera's effect when you use it. Usually you want to use this as a fusion material, because go into this. And just like Chimera, he has the graveyard effect as well, but he summons from the banishment. So your combo would be to use this effect, banish for cost to summon, and then chain this effect to banish to summon this. Which is always, so that way it turns on your Mirror Sword Knight and Kotal in the graveyard to negate Next, I do have the Draco Stapelia, just because it is still a good monster. That's a walking effect negation and level modulate. So if you do fight up against Yummy, you turn off one of their monsters, preferably one of the synchros, hopefully, and it does lower their level, so they can't synchro climb into anything much specific. They'd have to use up another Yummy, or you just basically have this here for the effect negation. We have the one Magnum Reliever, which I might cut because there were games where I didn't really summon this much. I'd rather go into other things, but Magnum is here just to recycle our fusion spells and polys if we need them. And when an effect is activated, you can chain its effect to banish a fusion or a poly card to pop a card on the field. But yes, when you can use his effect to put one of the fusion cards on the bottom of your deck and then draw a card, so it just helps. Just for a default option, I choose to run the Chimera the Illusion Beast, just because it's pretty much the OTK machine. Based on all the materials used for its summon, it gets that many attacks. As an illusion, nothing it attacks can die in battle, but it will negate that monster's effects and turn its attack points to 0, so OTK card. Next, we have the Fiendsmith Desiree for obvious reasons, as we play the Fiendsmith stuff, and the Guardian Chimera, which definitely should just be called a Chimera card for the majority of the deck. Next, we do still play the Chaos Angel, because we have ways to go into this with Nightmare Apprentice and Mirror Sword Knight, or even Lacrima, or just use any of our Light and Darks treat it as a tuner, and then just go from there. The High King Wave Caesar, the Fiendsmith Requiem. I chose to run back the Cross Sheep just because it is still a good card for fusion decks, being able to bring back one of your monsters that didn't really use its effect, or just to have another body on the field for more link climbing. The Fiendsmith Sequence, and the SP Little Knight. Sit for the extra deck. Again, it's all very interchangeable of what you want to run. If you want to run Duke of Demise or Fiendsmith Lacrima, and the new Fiendsmith Extremity, or however you say his name. Now the side deck, it's still somewhat a work in progress, because to be honest, I sometimes blank on how to make the side deck. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you guys, but I do still keep in mind of card decks that are in the current meta, so I try to focus on things that would stop them. So for Yummies, on my turn, or any other deck that would try to move things from the graveyard, I have the 3 Ghost Bell, just to say no to that. Because I can search and fuse and summon them back from the graveyard, I play the Tiger King Wang Hu. This is literally the Yummy killer. Just whenever they summon, they get an effect, and then when they summon, get an effect, and then he activates to destroy a monster that's 1400 or less attack. So yeah, to summon that against Yummy, they literally have to lose, unless they have an imperm or something. Next, I have the End of Anubis, just to stop cards that do target or activate in the graveyard. So this does stop Draco Tail. Orcus is another deck that it stops. I'm trying to think if Lunalights do have any grave effects they activate. They might, but I haven't fought anybody that's a Lunalight player at my locals. But this is still a good card, and it stops targeting from the graveyard. Next is the 3 Nibiru, which I might just end up maining, just because, you know, as you may have noticed, I don't have any of the Charmies. So there's that. I played the 1 Feather Duster, just to back our hate, along with the 2 Lightning Storms. I played the Anti-Spell, just to say, you know, you can't activate your spell cards. And for the last of my side deck line, I do choose to main the 3 Solemn Strike, just because, you know, stop a problematic monster from hitting the board. But yeah, that's going to be it for the deck profile. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you do, leave a leave a comment down below of what you would play, what you would take out, all that jazz. And What do you think of the new Hecaton shares that are coming out soon? Will you be playing it? I certainly know I am, so there's that. But hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.